everyone. So I'm Molly. I'm an ex-member of Yarrambat and also more recently an instructor out at the club. So hopefully most of you will know me. So today I'm going to be doing a bit of a tutorial on rider fitness and the benefits. Just to something a bit different, I guess, and it's probably something that as riders we don't consider too often because essentially horse riding is a form of exercise. So it's not probably that common that a lot of riders might then go and do other specific riding, strengthening type exercises because probably a lot of you too play other sports and things like that, but I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about it. So the reason why I'm bringing it up is because my background, my full-time work is an exercise physiologist at Don Vale Rehab Hospital. So I work in the outpatient department there, treating a wide range of injuries and health conditions and things like that. I have a background as a personal trainer as well. I worked at a gym for 4 years, and I personally am very passionate about health and fitness myself. So it is something that I am really interested in, and I do work out most days. So hopefully I can share with you a bit of my knowledge. So just a little bit of background about my credentials too. So to become an exercise physiologist, you need to do your undergraduate studies. So I did exercise and sports science at Deakin University, followed by an 18-month master's in clinical exercise physiology. And now I'm actually doing further masters in rehabilitation sciences, and I'm a couple of months off finishing that. So I feel like I do have quite a bit of knowledge in this area, and if you do have any questions going forward after this, please do contact me, because it's something that I'm more than happy to talk to you about and discuss, because I just love it really at the end of the day. So rider fitness and why is it important? So I guess I like to think of it a little bit as, like I said before, we do meet the activity requirements by riding our horses, 5 times a week or however many times a week. Generally, as it is a form of exercise, and I'm sure we've all had those arguments with the general population about why is horse riding a sport, or you just sit on the horse's back, and we all know that there's a lot more to it than just sitting on a horse's back. So it is really beneficial to be strong, and I guess the same way that we train our horses, we don't just do one form of training with them. Even if it's a dressage horse, you don't just do flat work with them. You'll do pole work, you'll do hill work, you'll do trekking out on trails, lunging. You might even take them down to the beach or do a hydro pool to do some swimming and recovery. So even though they're doing one, just dressage essentially, there's still a lot of different ways that they train, and so it's really important for us as riders to do the same too. And I think horse riding is a partnership, so we want to be getting the most out of our horse, and so by doing that we really need to look at ourselves as riders and do what we can to really maximize their performance. And I think a lot of the time we do tend to say, oh, my horse isn't doing this, and sometimes it's really important to step back and actually think about what we're doing as riders. How are we asking them? They're not trying to be naughty because they want to be naughty. They're misbehaving because they don't know what you're asking them. So rider fitness and strength and conditioning could really help with that potentially, and those subtle cues and aids that we give our horses. So first thing I sort of want to talk to you about is, I guess, the general sort of muscle groups and things like that we use when we're riding. So typically first up we'll work down the body. So we've got sort of our upper body, so our neck, our shoulders, our arms, and our upper back region. So these muscle groups are really quite important. Well, actually our whole body is important in riding, but anyway, so we really want to make sure we've got a nice strong posture, so we're sitting up nice and tall, shoulders aren't rounded forward, instead we're sitting up nice and strong, nice and tall, shoulders are back and down, so away from the ears, which I'm sure a lot of instructors, you've heard that say that before. We also need to be quite strong through our upper body, because we need to be stabilizing, but as well providing subtle cues to our horses as well, through half halts, turning and things like that. We also want to make sure that we're not bopping our head down, so quite often we tend to look down at our horse's head, whereas really we should be looking up and just glancing down whenever, but realistically you don't really need to be looking at your horse's head too much. Next we've got the core. Now the core is an interesting one. I think we often hear people say, draw in your tummy, draw in your belly button, to activate your core. If you're sitting upright on your horse, your core is activated. However, what I think instructors are trying to get across with that cue to riders is sit up tall, or it might be sit up straighter, you might be a little bit skewed or something like that. So if an instructor says to you, draw in your belly button, just sit up taller. Try that. Make sure you're nice and straight, even weight through your steering stack, because that might help as well with that cue. But you don't need to actively think about drawing in your belly button. Next up, we've got the pelvis and the hip region, super important area. So I guess you've got a big area that's coming in direct contact with our horse's back. It's a big area that we give the aids as well. So subtle movements, weight shifting is, if we're doing a leg yield and things like that, or a shoulder in, slightly rotating through the pelvis a little bit, shifting weight into one leg more than the other leg. So really important that we've got nice coordinated and controlled movements through this region as well. And good awareness, which exercise can really help to increase our awareness of how our body's moving in space, which is a term called proprioception, which I'll try not to get into too much technical detail. So we really want to make sure that, that's nice and controlled through the pelvis, also because we want to be nice and strong and moving with the horse, and so we're not bopping on their back, especially if we're doing things like a canter or a sit trot, and even a walk. Our movements can really resist the horse from really striding out through the walk as well. So we want to have good awareness through that region. Next, down through the lower legs, obviously again, huge area where we that requires aids to the horse. So again, a lot of awareness and control and strength can be really beneficial. And that's more just, I guess, for sort of just sitting in the saddle. Then we've got, things like our jumping as well, where our position really changes. So our quads and our glutes are really important for our jumping position as well. So we'll pause there for a tick. So some other things that we want to consider also is how all those movements work together. So we're trying to control our entire body to give a message to our horse of something that we're trying to get them to do. So we're thinking about our horse, we're thinking about ourselves, and we're generally planning for the next thing that's coming up, whether it be a jump or a next movement through a dressage, in a dressage ring, or whatever it may be. So there's a lot to think about. So this can be quite challenging as well. So specificity in the way we train is a really important thing to consider as well. And I'm talking about ourselves as humans here. So we want to try to do some exercises that are as specific to riding as possible. Now, I've tried to come up with a few exercises that are a bit different to what you might just find on Google or something like that as well. You don't need much equipment, but if you want to get a few things out now, you can, and we'll run through a few exercises. So either a TheraBand or a towel. So TheraBand's one of these stretchy bands, but if you don't have one of them, just grab a towel, a normal household towel, some dumbbells, so we can do some bicep curls. Or if you don't have little weights, you can use like water bottles full with water as well. It doesn't have to be super heavy. What else? And a chair. And I've got a mat out too, just for convenience. Or you can line your towel too. So in terms of the specificity that I was talking about, so like I said, there's a lot going on when we're riding. So we want to try to be as specific as possible when we're training as well. So we're going to include a few full body exercises, and then a few sort of more lower limb ones. Like I said, a few things that are a bit different to mix it up. Now, I do just want to really quickly point out that this is just a generic exercise program. It is just a few options. I'm not taking into account anyone's fitness, past history, injuries, or things like that. So if you have any questions from any conditions that you've had in the past, or you're not sure if these exercises are appropriate for you, please get in contact with me before you do them, because I won't be taking any responsibility for any injuries that are caused at this point, because it is just a general overview of some options at this stage. Okay, so we'll start with a lunge and a bicep curl. I've had to reposition a little bit because it started raining, but anyway, we'll make do. So I'm going to talk you through a little bit about the technique of each exercise and what you really want to be making sure you're doing to prevent any injuries, as well as the benefits as well. I'm going to lose my mat. So first up, a lunge and a curl. Now the reason why we're doing this one is the lunge, lower body obviously, working through the quads, the glutes, also a little bit of stability, get to that in a little bit as well, which is really important for riding. And then also the bicep curl as well. So the bicep curl, we're bending up through the elbow, we're stabilizing through the shoulder joint, which is what we do when we ride, and we're working through elbow range of motion, which is very similar to a riding position. You can even do what we call a hammer curl and turn your wrist from supine to a more neutral position, which is even more specific to your horse riding. So grab your water bottle. I'll start at this angle first up. Oh dear. I'll just ditch the mat for now. So what we want to think about is taking, for the lunge first up, a massive step forward or back. Okay? So basically you want to almost feel like you can't put that heel down on the ground. It's a really big stretch. Most people, when they muck up a lunge, it's because they haven't got a big enough step. Okay? We also, and you want to be balancing on the back foot, up on your toes on the back foot. You also want to be thinking about, I'll turn this way now, legs on tram tracks. Okay? Not on a tightrope. So we don't want anything like this. You want to be like this. Ooh. All right? Then with the curl, we're going to have the dumbbells in both hands. Like I said, you can have either supine grip or neutral grip. I'll go for a neutral grip. This is technically called a hammer curl. What we're going to think about is dropping the back knee down to the ground. Back down to the ground and then back up. So that's the lunge. Now I want you to take note of how your knees are tracking. They should be staying in line with your toes, not be coming in like this. If they're coming in like this, you need to be working through the glutes a bit more and bringing the knees out. All right, so to combine the full exercise, you're going to lunge down and curl up. And we'll just do 8 of those. Now, we're going to switch legs now. I'm going to show you now from this angle as well, so you can see from here. All right, so lunge down. Now, some things you want to think about while you're doing this is that the front knee isn't coming over your toes. So if you're making more than a 90-degree angle through the front knee, it means you're not dropping the back knee down, you're lunging forward opposed to down, or you don't have a big enough step. That's exercise 1. Hey guys, so another full body exercise I've got for you is a squat in a row. So if you don't have a TheraBand, it doesn't have to be this loopy one, it can be any type of that sort of stretchy bands that you can loop around something. Perfect, grab that. If not, just good old household towel. I'll show you with the towel first. Now we'll just run through the squat as well. So with the squat, I want you to think about keeping your weight really even between both feet. You want to think about as you squat down, not keeping your body upright as such. We do hinge forward from the hips. Now, even doing that, and saying that, sorry, you're not collapsing through the back, you're not rounding through the shoulders or anything like that. It's just thinking about the bottom back. Okay, we don't want to be doing any of this. This is not a squat. I don't know what this is. So in terms of riding, hopefully you can see why squat is really specific, especially to our jumping, because it's essentially a jumping position, just slightly different angles. And I'm sure if any of you have tried standing up out of the stirrups for a period of time, you'll know why we need strong quads as well, especially in your jumping position, trying to maintain that position, balancing between your legs, you get a real burn. Now in terms of the row as well, so if you do ride a really strong horse, you will know why it's really important to have the strong back muscles, because you're probably quite sore there quite a bit, especially after a run across country. So with the row, we want to be thinking about shoulders back and down. As we pull up, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So I'm just going to lean into the towel. You've got to sort of have your feet further forward and then just pulling up like this. So elbows skimming past the body. So again, very similar to our give and take, our upper arm position in our riding as well. So to combine the two, what we're going to do with the towel, squat down, stand up, pull in. Squat down, stand up, pull in. That's 2, 3, okay? So you keep going to 10 of those, and I'll show you with the band. So just get rid of the towel. So with the band, you're not going to have your full weight leaning against it, all right? So you're going to have a bit more weight through your legs. So you're going to squat down, come up, pull in. Squat down, come up, pull in. Okay, and again, go to 10 or so of those. Great. first, grab a chair or something to sit on, a bench, doesn't matter. We're going to do a sit to stand with a heel raise, but instead of doing a sit to stand with our feet together, we're going to have one foot further out in front of us. So this really makes us work one leg even harder than having our legs together. So we're starting to sort of target more specific exercises. If you can do this just off one leg. I'm not strong enough quite at the moment, I feel a little bit unbalanced. It's also really important for us to have relatively good balance as well in the saddle. So that's definitely something you can work towards if you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand up, most of our weight through the leg that's underneath us, and then we're going to go up into a heel raise. So calf and ankle stability really important in riding as well. We want to have that nice control, obviously nice long stretched out heels, which we all tend to creep them up. Alright, so just standing up out of the chair and then pushing up on the toes, most of the weight through that leg at the front. Like I said, you can try one leg, but yeah, I'm not very good. Still can't do that one. Alright, so if you do 10 reps each side of that one too. Alright, what's this? I think this is number 4. Okay, next one is another squat based exercise. We're going to squat down. We're going to keep one leg still. I'm going to focus on this leg today, and then we're going to tap that leg out to the side, and we're going to maintain this position. Okay, now, don't want to see you doing this sort of thing. Okay, now, just got 2 to go. Now, the next one's one of my favourite exercises, the bridge. I think it's just so specific, just so many tasks that we do, and just really targets the glutes, which are really important. We need them to be nice and strong. So you're going to be lying down. Now, a traditional bridge is feet nice and level, knees apart, so you're in line with hip, knees and toes all in a line. We're going to squeeze the glutes and lift up. And you want to have that nice straight line straight up. You don't want to be going just to there, all the way up, tensing the bottom muscles. But what we're going to do today, make it a little bit harder. You're going to come up, hold there. Try to keep your hips up when you do this, because then we're going to lift up one leg, pop it back down, and then we're going to switch to the other leg. So really good for the glutes, and also, again, by making ourselves unbalanced by taking one leg off the ground, we're really activating our core as well. So I've lost count, but try if you can hold that. If you need to come down between every couple of repetitions, that's fine too. You can come up, do a march, and then come back down if you need to, or you can just hold the whole time as well. But a really nice one to do. All right, now I'm just going to go into the last one straight away now. So what we're going to do now, this is more of a specific core type exercise. Want you to, it is quite challenging as well. So when we're lying down, we're getting feedback into our back about where our body is in space and how it's moving. But when we ride, we obviously don't have any support other than through the seat. So this is a really nice way to do your core exercises as well. So what we're going to do, you want to be thinking about hands or wrists, over your shoulders. You want to be thinking about head slightly up again, so not tucking down or looking straight down. You want to be looking forward slightly. And shoulders, you might even sort of do a little scap retraction and then try to find that middle point. In terms of your hip position, same sort of thing. We want sort of that nice 90-degree angle. And in terms of the back, we want to try to find what we call neutral spine, which basically means that your spine is in a nice neutral type position. It's not hollowed out, it's not arching. So what you can do is hollow as far as you can, arch up as far as you can, and then try to find that middle place between the two. Then what we're going to do, again, to make us unbalanced and activate and target the core, challenge the core, I should say, not activate the core, because my core will be activated, but challenge the core. We're going to take one leg back behind us, straight out, and then we're going to take it out to the side, back in, and down. Then we're going to switch sides and do it with the other leg. Now you really want to make sure, especially with adding the leg out to the side, the hip abduction component, it's really tempting to want to tilt the pelvis and rotate. We want to keep it nice and still. Alright, and everyone, this is little Lola. Hopefully, I was hoping she would have been out of Pony Club by now and I've met you all, but anyway, not to worry, hopefully soon. So I just want to wrap that up. So hopefully, first of all, you've learned something. Hopefully giving you a few different exercises and something to think about as well if you haven't been someone that does do some exercise regularly. I know it can be really challenging because like I said, you know, we do spend a lot of time with our horses and it does take up a lot of time, but if you can, you know, you might even pick 2 of those exercises to do a couple of times a week, you know, so, or sort of rotate through them, you know, pick 2 of the, I think there was 6 or so, and do one every couple of days or so. You might even do it, you know, as you're saddling up, just at the paddock, so you make it part of your routine as well, your riding training. But you will benefit from it. I've definitely noticed a really big difference in my riding, the fitter I got as well, and hopefully I'll get a horse at some point and get back into it. But like I said, if you have got any queries or you're not sure if those exercises are suitable for you, please get in touch with me. I really don't mind helping out. Like I said, I love this stuff and it's something that I'm really passionate about as well, is health and fitness just in general, and hopefully we'll get to see you all soon. And my email is pmbroxop@hotmail.com, or you can get in touch with me. I'm on Instagram quite a bit. Boxing Buddies is my fitness page, so feel free to have a look at that. It's all just generic, non-specific fitness sort of ideas and stuff that I tend to do at home. And but hopefully we'll see you all soon. Bye.